Man, I was flooded with millions of dollars from the time I was 16 all the way to this point in my life. And I woke up one morning, I was like, damn, they got me.
Hold it, because what comes next is not a conspiracy theory you'll find on TikTok. This is a blueprint, a manual actually, for how the music industry grooms young talent, extracts everything, and discards what's left. But here's what nobody is connecting. When Lil Flip sits down and talks about the music industry, he's not performing. He's not trying to build his personal brand. He's not even angry. He's calm. The kind of calm that only comes from a man who looked at something dark, decided he wasn't participating, and walked away without losing a single night of sleep. That matters because most rappers who talk about soul selling keep it vague. Rituals, symbols, secret handshakes. Flip doesn't do vague.
Yeah, when it comes to artists, yeah, but the people that I've encountered, see, I can't speak on the people that I haven't met. So when I said that, I'm speaking on 99% of the artists that I've met. They've done fun, and said they was gonna do this and didn't do that. And
99%, not speculation, not theory, direct observation. But here's where this gets dark. It's not just about broken promises and fake friendships, though those are bad enough. The real mechanism is something older and much more calculated. When you're 16 years old, broke, hungry, and someone walks in offering you millions, you don't negotiate. You don't hire a lawyer to read the fine print. You don't ask questions about publishing rights or contract clauses you've never heard of. You sign, and that's the design. That's always been the design. Mase learned this the hard way. By the time Mase was in his early 20s, he had already become one of the most important figures in hip-hop. Harlem World, platinum records, features on everything. He was everywhere. But while he was recording, creating, writing entire albums that would go platinum multiple times over, the person controlling the checkbook was walking into parties, taking credit, and cutting him pennies.
Diddy wasn't teaching Mase the business. You understand? He was using Mase as other artists to write rhymes on other people, write songs on other people's albums, on his album, and taking their talents and stealing their publishing.
Think about what that means. A kid in his 20s making music that goes on to define an entire era, and he's making $8,000 to $10,000 per song. One song, one platinum record, while the person who signed him is making $200,000 to $300,000 on the same project.
When the record go platinum, Diddy's getting $200,000-$300,000 and only gave him pennies for writing a song, getting points on publishing that he didn't even deserve.
And here's the trap inside the trap. Because Mase signed a contract at 19, he couldn't own anything, couldn't control his own work, couldn't even leave without permission. He tried. He went into ministry, came back, left again. That wasn't confusion. That was a man trying to escape something he was legally bound to. For the record, Diddy only returned those publishing rights in September 2023. September, months before the federal indictment. And he did it quietly. Alongside Faith Evans, 112, The Lox, Biggie's estate, all at once. All paid back. That's not generosity. That's preemptive damage control. Now let's talk about what Lil Flip actually turned down. Because the money isn't the trap. The money is the bait.
Have you ever been approached to do anything out of pocket?
I've been approached to have somebody come to my house and pray. And yeah, like, hey man, this guy, yeah, he's like he gets spirits out, and he wants to come and pray. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I want to continue to pray the way I've been praying.
That's not random. Let that land. Because the moment you accept that offer, the moment you let someone into your house under the guise of spiritual work, you've just crossed a line. You've just admitted that there's something in you that needs fixing, something that only they can fix. And once you believe that, once you accept that framework, the rest is negotiation.
The difference between me and a lot of artists is I started doing music for God. My grandmother played the piano, I was in the church, I sung in the choir, I played the drums.
That's the immunity. That's what he's saying. The moment your foundation is somewhere else, outside the industry, outside the machine, outside their control, the offers don't work the same way. You can't leverage something that doesn't matter to somebody, but if money is your God, if fame is your purpose, if validation from the industry is what keeps you alive at night, then you're already theirs. Lil Baby walked into a party in early 2020, Diddy's LA mansion. And what he saw there, what he was allowed to see, tells us everything about how this machine actually functions.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020, You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib. Like the influx of people he had put them out.
Stop. That's the first filter. Mass expulsion. Start with 100 people, get them drunk, get them celebrating. Then one by one, people start getting asked to leave. By the end of the night, there's only 15 left. 15. And you're still there.
That'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know? And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work.
You see what's happening? You're in a room with Jay-Z and Beyonce, with the biggest names in music. You've been selected, you've passed the test, you're special. And while you're floating in that, feeling that validation, feeling that access, the host, the person who put you there, is watching, studying, deciding whether you're useful or whether you're a risk. That's not networking, that's screening. Because what happened after that party didn't come from Bad Boy or from the mistakes Mace made. It came from understanding what those rooms actually are. They're not just parties, they're auditions. And the audition isn't about your talent. Your talent got you through the door. The audition is about whether you'll stay quiet about what happens inside. Years later, when federal investigators raided Diddy's properties, they found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil. 1,000. Costco doesn't sell that much baby oil. No store sells that much baby oil for personal use. And when agents asked about it, the response from people close to the situation was clinical. The bottles weren't just baby oil. Memory loss, drowsiness, loss of control, a substance that dissolves into liquid form so it can be mixed into anything, rubbed onto skin, absorbed, untraceable in the way that matters when you're trying to build a case years later. That's not party supplies, that's infrastructure. And here's what makes all of this fit together. When Lil Baby made that video after Diddy's arrest, dumping bottles of baby oil on the pavement while the camera was running, he wasn't making a joke. He was sending a message. He was there. He saw something. He remembered something. And now that the federal government is on record about what was actually in those bottles, he's letting you know that he understands exactly what that was. He's speaking in the only language that keeps him safe. Performance, timing, deniability, but also honesty to anyone paying attention. Now go back to Lil Flip, because his story isn't actually about rejecting the offers. It's about what happens to the people who accept them compared to the people who don't.
I'm not gonna let money dictate every move I make when it comes to music. It's a blessing for me to be able to create. The money is gonna come. So I just pride myself in treating people right, and relationships outlast money.
That sounds noble, and it is, but it's also the reason he's not on the radio. It's the reason the major playlists don't carry him the way they carry other names. It's the reason a lot of people don't even know who he is outside of clips. Because staying independent, maintaining your integrity, refusing to participate in the weirdo shit, that comes with a cost. The industry doesn't punish you loudly. It just stops promoting you. It stops putting your music in front of people. It stops opening doors. And after enough time, people assume you failed.
Some people are brainwashed to, hey, if you ain't on the radio like you used to be or on TV like you used to be, you fell off. That's the average mind. But then people that understand and overstand and cloverstand business, they'll get what success means.
But here's the paradox. The artists who did say yes, who did accept the offers, who did participate in the weirdo shit, they don't look happy either. They look controlled. They look like they're performing a version of themselves. They release music on a schedule they might not have chosen. They show up at appearances that don't make sense. They move through the world with a lightness that's actually empty. Look at NBA Youngboy. The guy is dropping projects like there's a timer on his life. Project after project, video after video. And the internet has been trying to figure it out for years. Is it trauma? Is it paranoia? Or is it a schedule that somebody else determined?
I just be having a point to prove, just be having something to say.
He doesn't sound like he's making music because he wants to. He sounds like he's running from something, or towards something, or both. That's what the successful version of the trap looks like. You get everything: the money, the fame, the validation, the access, but you're not really free. You never sleep, you're always performing. You're always aware that the moment you stop being useful, the moment you become a liability, everything stops. This is where it gets really dark, because what Lil Flip is describing isn't just individual bad contracts or predatory deals. It's a system, a filter, a machine that identifies talent, tests it, and then either incorporates it or removes it. Think about the Houston rap scene. For decades, it was untouchable. Then something shifted, and all of a sudden, artists started disappearing from playlists. Albums weren't getting promotion. The radio play dried up, and people assumed it was a talent problem. Artists fell off. Quality declined.
Sometimes when you don't have a major deal, you're not gonna have the same amount of money spent behind your projects. So a lot of these artists, they got their deal, still was releasing records. Like, we still releasing records back to back and twice a year, whatever. But if it's not $1 million budget being spent on marketing and radio and ads and posters and, you know, brainwashing you to know, hey, this album is out, here's a billboard over here, then it's gonna look like you're not doing nothing.
That's the genius of it. You don't have to destroy the artist. You just have to stop promoting them. You just have to redirect that marketing budget to the artists who did accept the deal. And in a culture that measures success purely by visibility, by streams, by radio rotation, invisibility looks like failure, but it's not failure, it's filtering. The artists who refused, they keep working, they keep touring, they keep selling to their real audience, but they never get the exponential growth. They never get the billion stream moment. They never become global. They become what Lil Flip describes, successful by any rational metric, but dismissed because they didn't go through the machine, because they have no context, they have no mentors who survived it, they have no older generation telling them exactly what to watch out for. Here's what strikes me when you look at all of this together. Mase spent literally decades processing what happened to him at Bad Boy. He tried to leave, he went into ministry, he came back, he left again, and only recently, when the federal case gave him protection, could he actually speak openly about it? Lil Baby had one night at a party, and he's been thinking about it ever since. Years later, after everything came to light, he's still communicating about it through performance and visual metaphor because speaking directly is still not safe.
Everything everybody told me not to do worked for me, so whether a person keep their word about rapping or singing on the song, it's not gonna stop me from getting where I need to go. Because I'm gonna go put the work in.
That's a rapper who understands the system so deeply that he's decided to opt out entirely, not in a bitter way, in a clear way. Because here's what Lil Flip keeps coming back to, and this is the part that ties it all together. The industry uses your talent against you. It uses your ambition. It uses your insecurity. It uses your need to belong, to be validated, to matter. And as long as you believe that you need them to be successful, you're already compromised.
I'm not selling my soul for no fame. I ain't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep God in everything I do.
That's not religion. That's strategy. That's saying, my sense of self is not negotiable. My values are not for trade. My body is not currency. My silence is not a commodity. And the moment you believe that about yourself, the offers stop working. Right now, the federal case against Diddy is moving forward. Documents are being filed. Testimony is being recorded. And all of the things that people knew, suspected, and stayed silent about for decades are moving from the realm of industry whispers into the realm of legal evidence. The trial is happening, depositions are being taken, and for the first time, people have actual legal protection to say what they saw. When Mase announced he was dropping his first album in over 20 years, and he specifically said it would come out on the first day of Diddy's trial, he wasn't being random. He was making a statement. He was saying, the silence is ending, and I'm not going to be quiet anymore. That's someone who has been carrying something for a very, very long time. And now, finally, the cost-benefit calculation has shifted enough that it makes more sense to speak than to stay silent. So when Lil Flip talks about what young rappers have to go through to be successful in this industry, he's not exaggerating. He's not performing outrage. He's describing a mechanism that has been operating for decades. It identifies young talent. It offers them everything. And then it tests whether they're willing to trade their autonomy, their dignity, their safety, and sometimes their physical freedom for access and money. Some say yes, some say no, and the ones who say no, they exist on the periphery of an industry that pretends they don't exist at all.
I mean, I chose not to indulge in the weirdo shit that's going on in this industry. So when you still believe in God, man, and you ain't compromising your morals, I'm not selling my soul for no fame, I ain't doing none of that.
The question isn't whether the industry will change. The question is whether the next generation of young talent will have enough context, enough support, and enough alternative pathways to actually have a choice. Because right now, for most kids in their teens and 20s, there is no choice. There's just the machine, and the machine is always hungry.